Are you over 30, someone who is extremely busy with work or family, and feel like you want to take back control of your life, but don't know how? In this video, I will go through the power of daily habits for long-lasting health, for improving your metabolism and longevity. So why should you listen to me? My name is John Craig. I'm a certified nutritionist, advanced personal trainer, and I have helped work with people in over 20 countries take back control of their metabolism and hopefully adding quality years to their life. As a parent and someone who has worked in extreme conditions managing oil rigs, I totally understand why sometimes the struggle is not your fault. So throughout life, we've been taught about diets, not about habits. We're often told by many people to eat less and not smarter. How many people do you know, maybe including yourself, who chase scale weight instead of chasing being healthy? In the health and fitness industry, we are often taught about quick fixes instead of building foundations. And for many people, they were probably never taught anything about their metabolism. So what is the path forward for you? The path forward for you is having simple knowledge of some simple tools that you can use, basic habits that we can build into your life that will help you build long-term metabolic health. Now, I want to look at this from a busy parent or an entrepreneur or a busy professional's normal life. So if you look at your environment is not set up for you to succeed. Your environment is designed to make you fail. So you're surrounded by unhealthy choices. Think about when you go out for your lunch break if you're at work. You're surrounded by unhealthy choices, which is always fast food, normally carbohydrate based, packed full of ultra-processed ingredients, and normally lacking protein or any quality ingredients. It is efficient though, and something that you can grab quickly while you're on the move. We have profit over health. So if you go to cafes, supermarkets, petrol stations, even maybe your work canteen, there will be things like meal deals, which are designed, normally a sandwich lacking protein, very high in chemicals and ultra-processed ingredients. You'll normally get a bar of chocolate, you'll get a packet of crisps, and you'll normally get a drink that is packed full of sugar, possibly even a coffee as well. Nothing there is designed to support your energy, support your hormones, support your muscle mass, or anything else that is important towards your health or metabolism. It is solely about profit and efficiency. Again, not your fault, but we can help you make better choices. So technology is a barrier. So when you're out in the city or you're at work or wherever you are, one of the easiest things to do, and I know for professionals and also parents now, is get out your phone, go to the Deliveroo or Just Eat app. You find the fastest option available. It gets delivered to your workplace or maybe your home, and you have very quick lunch or mid-afternoon snack. Again, even if you can find something that's high in protein, it'll be low quality meat. It's cooked very poorly. And throughout various cities that we have looked at, unless you can find a real healthy meal prep option, almost every option you're going to get is going to be damaging your health, your energy, long-term damaging your confidence, and really not what you want to be eating. It's okay as a one-off, but not something you want to be eating day in, day out. And then if you look at workplace culture, so you're at work, you maybe have many meetings on and you want to get home early. So you're not going to go for an hour walk to find the healthiest option available, and unless you've pre-prepared before you went there, the chances are you are at the mercy of your environment again. Now say you go to the work canteen. Now I've been in many work canteens that are actually quite positive. They do have some healthy options there, and I've been at other ones which are really bad. Regardless, you're at the mercy of them. So you're thinking about efficiency. You're probably going to run down there, grab whatever you can put under your arm, pay for it, and then go back to your desk and eat it quickly. Now the result of our experiment went to the city, and we will get onto this a bit more later on. In any of these environments, if you had meal prepped and thought about something, packed a packed lunchbox, you have totally taken control of your destiny, and you'll only be eating things that you know will be contributing towards your success and your goals. We'll speak about that a little bit more later on. So one of my least favourite buzzwords on the internet just now, discipline. So your discipline isn't the problem. Often hear people always, you're not disciplined, you need to try harder, you need to do this. The design of your environment is a huge problem. Now, I'm not taking away that you can't do something about that. We can 100% take full control of that situation, but it does take a little bit of planning. You need to have the knowledge and experience of what you want to take there, and you also need to have targets or specific goals so you know that whatever you're eating is going to help you achieve that goal. So it's okay saying you need to be disciplined, but telling someone to be disciplined if they don't actually know what to do isn't so smart either. So we do see a big problem. So health and fitness is something that has been extremely overcomplicated, and that is one of the reasons why I made this video. We want to know about the basics, the foundations that if you continue doing these year after year will compound, and they will give you the best chance of being as fit and as healthy as you can be. And then if you want to be an extreme athlete, or if you have certain performance goals or other goals, you can then adapt from these daily foundations to achieve what you want. One of the things that I do see is you have someone, a busy professional, busy parent, they do not care about being a bodybuilder. They do not care about being a marathon runner. They don't care about being a sportsman in any way. They just want to be a little bit leaner. They want to have a little bit more energy, a little bit more confidence. They go online, pick up YouTube, pick up Instagram, TikTok, whatever they scroll through, and they see people who have niched down their fitness profiles to something very specific, and they will keep going over and over all this really complicated stuff, because to differentiate from other people, you either need to find some sort of niche or something that makes you a little bit different, or makes you possibly you're better at presenting this thing, or you have better ideas. You know, this can go on a bit more, but you get the point. You're now at this extremely complicated ideas that are way beyond anything you will ever need to be feeling better and just achieving these small things you want to achieve. And in health and fitness, we have also overcomplicated things. So you think you need a coach, so you think you need all these apps, so you think you need all these supplements, and it's not the case. Yeah, 100%. I am a coach, I am a nutritionist, and I do help people. It is my business. But these things I'm going to show you in the video, you can work them out yourself. You can implement yourself. And yes, maybe for accountability, for helping keeping you on track, for constantly adjusting, for motivation, for fixing other habits outside that's maybe holding you back. Coaches are amazing. But the basics here anyone can do. So the next thing, which I almost touched on there, is quick fixes everywhere. So you've not implemented any of the basics. Same as what I said in the last one. You're a busy parent, you're a busy professional, and you just want to drop some fat. You want the belly fat to go down. You want to have more energy at work. You want to sleep better, libido up. These things. So you've bypassed all the daily habits, the simple things, the foundations, and now you're looking at Manjaro, you're looking at Ozempic, you're looking at whatever weight loss injections. You're messaging people asking what's the best peptide to take, what hormone should I take, what supplement should I take. And these things have their place depending on what your goals. But these things give you the little bits of percentages afterwards. They're chasing specific goals. None of them work effectively unless you've implemented all of these daily habits that I'm going to show you now. And each one of these daily habits that you don't implement will have a knock-on effect of how well these magic pills do work. And then you get to the point where people feel stuck. So yeah, and this is where coaches often come in. People feel stuck. They don't know how to work out their protein. They don't know how to work out their macros. They're seeing all this complicated things, all this noise online. And they're also thinking back to 30, 40 years ago when they used to just do the soup diet. And, you know, then all these people are saying you should fast. And it's really complicated. And you feel stuck. And this is where a coach can come in very handy, because they can tell you, look, this is what you do. They take all the thinking out. They give you a plan that's designed to meet your goals, and they will help you get through that. But feeling stuck, if you are at this point, I want you to step back, and I'm going to show you now some of these daily habits that should be able to make a big difference in your life. So before we get on to looking at the daily habits and the things that you can implement in your life, I think it's very important to understand why fad diets fail. Now, when we speak about fad diets, I had actually run this presentation for some clients recently, and one of them actually asked, what is a fad diet? So fad diets cover many, many things. Anything with a label diet. You start off and you have absolutely every available option at your disposal. That is the normal start point. Anything that you then start restricting from that, unless you have actual health concerns or you have allergies or you have very strong medical reasons not to eat these things, you then start restricting yourself. And almost every fad diet has some form of restriction. Also, they come with many labels. Labels we will touch on in a minute. This could be keto, it could be Mediterranean, it could be carnivore, it could be vegan, it could be Weight Watchers diet, Slim Fast diet. You know, all of these have some form of label or restriction, or they are popular, they're a fad, and the masses follow them because they think they're an easy option, and they will provide some magical solution that will avoid them implementing a structured, well thought routine. So they're almost sold in some ways as being quick and easy fixes. If you look at all of the fad diets, there is some of them that people need to eat. For example, people who have certain health concerns maybe would avoid plants, would focus more on the carnivore style diet. A lot of people have had a lot of good reasons to have keto diet. And there's other people who have nut allergies, for example. Telling them to go on a diet that's packed full of nuts would be insane. These people all have medical reasons or have biofeedback that explains they should not be doing them. So now we understand what I speak about with fad diets and restrictions. So I just want to show you this quick cycle why fad diets and restrictions fail. So say you're a male or a female and you start off on 3,000 calories. I know a lot of females don't start off on 3,000 calories, but let's just disregard that. You're at 3,000 calories and you decide you're going to go on the new super slimming diet at Slimming Diet World or something. You're feeling overweight, you're low energy, and your goal is let's get the scale down, which isn't a great thing to focus on. So you reduce from your 3,000 calorie diet, which you weren't really gaining much weight, but you had over a long time became pretty fat. Then you start to decrease your calories quite quickly, not through any kind of plan. Your just goal is I'm going to reduce my calories. So what you'll generally find is you'll see a rapid drop in the scale going down, and you will think success. Now this Slimming Diet World thing is working amazing. Then you'll hit a plateau maybe after 2 weeks and you think, okay, so this was working well, now I'm just going to decrease the calories even more. And then yeah, the scale starts moving a little bit more again. But at this point you're starting to get pretty hungry, you're pretty grumpy, you know, there's no energy, you're falling asleep during the day, and you're starting to hate waking up in the morning because you're starving for the whole day knowing you're going to torture yourself. But you've seen again another 2 or 3 weeks of the scale going down, but you've hit a plateau. So this is the second plateau. And then it's time to decrease again. But you're starting to get into starvation mode here, where you're just not eating enough to fuel your body, to keep your muscle mass in any way. And you hit a point maybe 2 or 3 months down the line and you've noticed the scale's not really been moving, you're starving, you're hating life, and you give up. Most people would. It's almost like your brain's going to be saying, look, we don't want to do this anymore, you're destroying us. But you've achieved your goal from day 1 to day 120, or whenever you've managed to, wherever you've given up. The scales went down, that was your goal, so mission accomplished. You have this belief now that this Slimming Diet World thing works. Now this applies for all the diets, they're all pretty much the same, it's the same business model. So then you have a month of going back to your normal, say 3,000 calorie diet, but you've absolutely destroyed your metabolism. So one of the biggest things to support your metabolism is muscle mass. If you don't have the correct macros, if you don't have enough protein to support your muscle mass when you're in a deficit, if you've not eaten enough fats to support your hormones, you are absolutely destroying your metabolism. So once you return back to your normal point with very little muscle mass, and you know you've been punishing the rest of your systems in your body, as your basal metabolic rate is on rock bottom, you are now getting fat really quickly. So over this month of eating normally again, or normally for what you were previously doing, you're getting fat really quickly. So you do that for a month and you can't deny that the scale has now went from quite low to higher than what it was when you started all this. So you tell yourself, okay, the only thing that's actually worked for getting the scale down is going back on this diet. So you repeat this and you do this cycle of starvation, coming off after you give up because you break and you can't keep doing it anymore, and then you repeat the cycle. So you get to the end of the year and you go back to your 3,000 calories, and you're now probably fatter than when you started. So you've tortured yourself for 12 months to end up gaining weight, destroying your metabolism, probably affecting your skin elasticity, your bone density, dehydrated yourself probably a lot of the time, and now your joints are taking a pounding. To be worse off, you would have been better probably just sticking at your 3,000 calorie diet and just eating the stuff that you were already eating. At least you'd be happy and you wouldn't be torturing yourself. So that is why fad diets don't work. You destroy your metabolism, you don't build your body, you don't make your body work for you, and mentally and physically it is very bad for you. So the goal of what we should be doing, maybe a slight calorie deficit if your goal is fat loss. You should be focused on losing fat, not weight, and you should be eating enough protein for your body, personalised to you, and also the macros should be personalised to you and your lifestyle. And you should be doing this in a very gradual fat loss, doing it over a period of time. There should be built around foods that you like, that you can consistently do. If you want to work out, then that's great. Again, that would be built around your lifestyle. If you don't want to work out, your NEAT, your activity outside the gym, will be built around what you can do. So basically, you make your body work for you and not against you. Starving, restriction, makes your body work against you. So now on to the magic pills part. So one of the biggest questions I get is never about daily habits, never about protein, it's never about macros, it's never about sleep, it's never about energy balance, NEAT. All of these things that fix your metabolism is always about steroids, other hormones, it's about blood testing, supplement, now weight loss injections, SARMs, belly wraps, what exercise for belly fat, the list's endless. Peptides, very popular one now. The best fat burner, the best thing for energy. You get the point. So all of these things will almost not work to support a sustainable, healthy lifestyle without the daily habits being in place. Now, there's many things I mentioned that will give you great results, but you still need to get the daily habits in place first. And actually, having the daily habits nailed is something you can do for the rest of your life. It's the easiest and often the cheapest or the free thing in many cases. These things can be very harmful to your body. Some of them are great, but they're not effective without the daily habits being nailed. Take as many peptides as you want. Without you having your food or other things in place, the benefits are limited. Take the weight loss injections. They will absolutely melt the weight off you and the scales will go down. You'll have wasted away all your muscle mass. Your bone density will be destroyed. Your joints, possibly your kidneys, all the other things. There's a lot of health things coming out. People reporting brain injuries, eyesight problems, poor joint, kidney problems. So this isn't an anti-magic pills video, but I want to just show you that none of this works without the habits being in place. So as we discussed at the start, labels. So labels, not just in health and fitness, in safety, in human behaviours, in working with people, anything you're doing, labels can be very, very damaging. Once you put a label on someone and that becomes their identity, whether it's someone you've attached a label to or someone, i.e. normally in the diet industry, attaches labels to themselves, it becomes their identity. Their brain switches off and they cannot listen to science, they cannot listen to feedback, they often can't critique themselves, because once they are forced to actually use their brain and see what this restriction, so they've put a label on themselves, I am now a vegan, or I'm a carnivore, or I'm a faster. And it's nothing against, this isn't specific against these things in any way, but I'm just using them as a label. So once they start getting that feedback, the biofeedback, their blood test, and whatever they're doing, or their performance, or they look in the mirror, they see the scales, whatever it is, the weights are dropping in the gym, it's really hard for them to turn around and say, my label, my identity, my new thing that I'm now doing that I've been telling every person around me is absolutely amazing, is the thing that is damaging me, the thing that is holding me back. And then you're maybe having to look for, say you've went, I'm vegan now for whatever reason, maybe because you watched Game Changers or you think it makes you a better, nicer person, that's fine. But then you start getting lightheaded, you start getting test results back that say that you're lacking iron, you're lacking red blood cells, for example. And then you have to go back and say, well, okay, so now I'm doing a diet that I have to take supplements. Not great. Supplements are meant to support a healthy diet. And then you have to go back maybe to your friends and say, oh, I've started eating red meat again because I need iron, I need all the benefits that I get from eating animal products, and vice versa. Maybe if you're a carnivore, eating sticks of butter and bacon all day, and that's become your identity. Next thing you know, someone sees you eating a donut because you've broken and just want something that you enjoy eating. Donuts aren't healthy, but you know, and then straight away that's your identity has been criticised. So, but the biggest thing for me though, and that's just what other people would maybe be saying, but once you put a label and that becomes your identity, your ability to look yourself in the mirror or look at what you're doing and give yourself honest feedback is normally clouded. And it takes a really strong person to then turn around and say, no, I need to detach this label and just be the person who does what's right for me. If that means I eat less meat or I eat more vegetables or whatever it may be, that's fine. Don't attach that label. Don't put your hand up and say, I'm that such and such. Just keep it open. Give yourself that freedom. Remove any restriction. Doesn't mean that you have to not cut some of these things in your life. You just don't need to label yourself. Because once you do, you will avoid taking the necessary action to keep you fit and healthy and performing the way you want to. Now, them labels, big focus on diet. So there's many other labels that often people attach to themselves because they think it's a good reason not to take action, and it's a good reason that other people would accept for them maybe being overweight or their lack of action or poor health or whatever it may be. And you know, you have things like age, injuries, hormones, menopause, we hear a lot of them, time, energy, money. You know, these are things as well, labels that we hear that aren't helpful. And then you also have things like, you know, diabetes and things like that, whereas actually all of these things, if you have your daily habits in place, they will work in your favour to minimise the impact of any of these things. So we're getting closer to actually going through what a lot of these habits are, but I just want to really show you the whole system here. I want you to have an understanding, you know, see who this is for, why this isn't your fault, and then understand why other things don't work for you. And then I just want to show you here now to reinforce the power of habits. And throughout the video, we're going to look at stuff even when it comes to visiting the doctors and various other things, real client results from them. Because I just want to show you that habits are in absolutely everything in life. Let's look at habits. So we go from baseline. You're maybe having some ill health problems, your obesity or diabetes, whatever it may be. So you have these problems. So you implement one habit, one positive habit that is personalised to you. You do it for a short amount of time, and quite quickly you will start feeling quite a bit better. So you've implemented a habit, you now feel better, and now, because of that, you then implement the next habit. So you implement that habit, that reinforces itself again. You're still doing the other positive habit, you feel better, and then want to do the next one. And each time you go around in this loop, it gets easier and easier and easier. So you start seeing your energy improve, your maybe libido, your confidence is starting to go through the roof. You're now wanting to start doing things you would never have imagined you'd ever want to do. You maybe want to start running all of a sudden. You maybe want to start swimming, you might want to start exercising. You want to start going to social events because you look quite nice in your new dress now. Now you're actually starting to want to go and join maybe a sports team. You maybe want to go and take part in more activities with your children. You find yourself you don't want to stay in the house very much now because you have that confidence, that energy. You feel good and you want to be out socialising in public. So all of these things, they just keep reinforcing each other, and you get that real positive benefits from them that just makes it addictive, and yeah, they just reinforce each other. And the more you experience that, it's not about being disciplined or creating a system or motivation. They are so powerful that they actually drive you enough that it becomes the new norm, and this is what you do in your life. So now on to the best bit, the 10 fundamentals for long-lasting health. Now every single one of these will improve so many things in your life. So we have eat single ingredient whole foods. Now the whole point in this was to make it as simple as possible. What is a single ingredient whole food? Because I'm always asked that. It is one single ingredient. So if you go back 40, 50 years, whatever, even 30 years, an apple, a piece of meat, a green, say a piece of broccoli, a fish, just exactly how it is a single ingredient whole food. Now, what's the opposite of a single ingredient whole food? So let's look at something like an ultra processed option, which have their different Nova grade rating from 1 to 4. Now, I'm not going to go through that in detail because it's going to overcomplicate things. So everything beyond its natural state, once you start processing it in some way, whether it's mechanical, through chemicals, breaking it down, through adding any kind of additives to it, creates some sort of processing. Some of it has very little effect on how healthy or unhealthy the food is for you. For example, tuna. So if you have a tin of tuna, just because it's been broken down mechanically and put in a tin doesn't necessarily mean that it's very bad for you. And then you have things like oats. Now, if you go for steel cut, whole grain, real oats, they are not bad for you just because they've been processed slightly to make them something you can store in a box and cook and now eat. That is minimal processing. These things, don't worry about it. Once it starts going beyond that and you add all the other ingredients to it, like chemicals, things that you can't pronounce. So you look at the back of a box. If it's in a box, I'd be suspicious. If it's in a packet, I'd be suspicious. Go to the ingredient label, one ingredient, that's a single ingredient whole food. Any more than one ingredient, start to be suspicious. If it's foods that you understand, like, okay, let's look at chili, for example. So you have beef mince, you have onions, you maybe have dark chocolate, you have some spices, and you have some chili flakes. Just as a simple thing. They are all single ingredients that are healthy, that have been put together to make a meal. No problem. Now, you look at the ingredients and you get past them ingredients, and then you have maltodextrin, you have E something something something, and you have all these different names that you can't pronounce. They look like they were created in a lab. Now you're starting to get to the ultra processed chemical added foods, and you want to avoid them. So single ingredient, it's on its own. You get it from the butcher, you get it from the fruit veg aisle. Generally you should be okay. Anything that comes in a packet, be suspicious and check the ingredient labels for things you can't pronounce. That's about as simple as I can put it just now. People often say shop the outer perimeters of the supermarket and avoid the inner bits where you get all the packaged processed crap. Not always the case because every supermarket can be slightly different, but it's a good way of looking at it. Now the next one, prioritise protein. So the reason we prioritise protein supports almost every cell in the body. It is also excellent for building or maintaining muscle mass, which is more important once you're in, well, it's very important when you're in a calorie deficit. One of the key things when you're in a calorie deficit and losing fat, not focusing on the scale going down, is you're keeping every bit of muscle that you can. So once you get rid of that fat, that muscle is now keeping your metabolism nice and high. There's also many other benefits from eating protein, but this is more focused on metabolic health and fat loss. And then energy balance. So number 3, energy balance, making sure that your energy balance meets your lifestyle and activity levels. So basically calories in, calories out in a simple way. If you are extremely active, make sure you eat enough calories to support your needs. If you are almost sedentary, make sure you adjust your calories. There's calculators out there that can help you. Every person is totally unique in terms of what their basal metabolic rate is, and that's how many calories you burn doing nothing. And everyone else is also very unique in terms of their total daily energy expenditure, which is your basal metabolic rate plus the activity you're going to do for the day, other than just waking up and breathing. So number 4, find an activity that you enjoy. NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. The reason I say find an activity you can enjoy, because you want to be happy mentally and physically. You want to be able to do this for the rest of your life, and it is really difficult to force yourself day in, day out to do something you don't like. And quite often you don't like something often because, I don't know, maybe it's difficult to get to, you don't like the people there, you maybe have an injury and it agitates an injury, or you just don't like this thing. Whatever reason, there's many reasons. So find an activity you enjoy so you can consistently do it for the rest of your life. Them activities, I can almost guarantee, will change as your health, fitness and ability to do other stuff changes. If you are a 250 to 300 pound obese man, for example, and you want to do marathon running, I don't think you would enjoy it. Once you get down to 200 pounds, for example, you might have a different mindset towards it. So number 5, include healthy fats. Now, for many, many years, fats have been demonized as something that makes you fat. Yes, fats do contain higher calories per gram compared to carbohydrates and protein. If you don't know, protein and carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram, and fats have 9 calories per gram. That is true. However, fats were demonized to allow us to sell ultra-processed junk, to cereals, things that create big business for health industries like cereals, ultra-processed foods, things that are packed full of sugars, things that are packed full of chemicals. They help you get a lot of chronic illnesses, and you become a subscriber to Big Pharma and the health industries for the rest of your life. So fats are very good for you. They are very good for making you feel full. They support your hormones, your hair, your skin, your nails. They support energy levels when you go into ketosis. They also stop your blood sugar levels spiking because they slow the digestion of carbohydrates and sugars going into your blood. They're very good for your cardiovascular health, and they're often delicious, which is very important too. You want to be happy and eating foods that you enjoy. So next one, optimize your carbohydrates. So we spoke about protein, we spoke about fats. Carbohydrates have come third because they are not essential for your body. There's a lot of good uses for carbohydrates, for sports, for performance, and for other things. But protein and fat should always come first. And you should eat your carbohydrates based on, or plan to eat your carbohydrates based on your activity levels. For many people and my clients, we normally eat most of our carbohydrates earlier on and around workout times. And then we also focus on keeping them to being low to medium glycemic index, low to medium load carbohydrates, which are generally high in fiber and they are low in simple sugars. For some people, they will have sugars around workout times. I do that myself. It's not great for fat loss, but it is okay for performance and other things. So optimize your carbohydrates based on your activity and your goal. So use tracking or awareness. I've had many people who have actually come to me for a consultation. We do a free consultation, we go through things, and quite often it does me out of business. But it helps people and it gets them to turn their life around. So we'll do a consultation, we'll go through a food diary with them. In some cases I've asked them to go away and track their meals for a week, and I will give them a free analysis of where they're going wrong and what they can do about it. Quite often after a week, people don't come back, and I'll bump into them in the street or I'll bump into them online and just drop a message saying, hey, how's things going? You didn't come back with your food diary. And they'll often say, I was so embarrassed after I told you I don't eat anything. After tracking it for a week and realising the foods I was eating, I didn't need an expert or any help. I just needed to quit the family bags of crisps every night. I had to sit down and have real single ingredient foods. I needed to eat more protein and maybe drink some more water because I was drinking sugary juice all day. So great. And they can turn their life around just by removing this junk from their diet. So that just tracking alone and having an awareness of what you're eating can be one of the most powerful things here, especially for understanding. So get regular sunlight. Now, these 10 fundamentals, being quite honest, there is probably another 10 that could be here. And there's other ones like strength training and some other things that might give you faster results. But these 10 were picked because there's things that anyone can do. So get regular sunlight. People often underestimate the power of the sun. When you wake up in the morning and the sun is beating through your window, it's nice and warm, not too warm, and you can get up, put on a pair of flip-flops, go out in your shorts, sit in your garden, have a coffee, have a nice barbecue, everyone going out and everyone's in a nice dress, not the men of course, and everyone's happy. This one tiny thing alone is enough to change mindsets, to give people a lot of positive thoughts and feelings, and also their environment around them becomes a lot happier place. So that one thing alone is very powerful. But things like vitamin D and there's so many other things from the sun that can help work towards your metabolism. So avoid unnecessary stress. Number 9, we actually created a guide called the Understanding the Sphere of Control. And the reason for this is many people I was helping online, many people coming to consultations, and many of my clients One of the reasons they were not making progress was, okay, there was a lot of these fundamentals weren't right, but one of the things is they spent most of their life around negative people, around people that drained them. Even some people were family, sometimes their husbands, sometimes their wives, people at work, their bosses, their children. And they spent a lot of time around people who were actually very negative and bringing them down all the time. They were draining them. They also seemed to get very involved in a lot of things that not only was not really their business, which is entirely up to them, but they had absolutely no way of impacting that thing or changing it in any way, quite often with politics or other things, which is very important to understand and do what you can, but there comes a time when you have to say, look, focusing all my energy on something like this, it's quite negative and draining, which I can have absolutely nothing I can actually impact here. If this is derailing my health and fitness, it needs to go. And that's quite often what we've said to people. So avoid stress unless it's good stress that you're going to grow from. Avoid negative people, avoid negative situations unless you really need to, i.e. to protect yourself or your family. And if you have negative people in your life, it's easy just to cut them out. That's the easier option. But have a constructive conversation with them, give them a chance, say, look, this is how I feel. They can't say anything about your feelings. That's how you feel. Be polite, be constructive, explain how you feel, why you feel that way, and give them a chance to tell their side of the story. And if you're not happy or they're not willing to work with you so you're both going to be happy in a positive situation, then you've done what you can. And I would say at that point you'd consider cutting negativity from your life. There's 8 billion people in the world. You do not need one negative person in your life at all. And the last one, now some of these, the first 6 or 7 are pretty much in order, the rest of them are equally important. So avoid fad diets and restrictions. We discussed that, why I'm not going to go over that in more detail. We want to be fueling your body, fueling your metabolism to ensure you have sustainable metabolic health. Once you start restricting or taking away or handicapping yourself with any of these restrictions, everything becomes much harder. And then a bonus point, so strength training. The reason that is not there, as I said before, that would be arguably better than quite a lot of these, but it's scary for people. People think strength training is going to be really difficult, they don't want to do it, and that is why it has been put at the bottom. It is a bonus, and if you want to do it, do it. What I can say though is once you've done these 10 points, you'll probably want to do strength training because you'll feel amazing. That's normally when you get to the point saying, hey coach, how can I get a wee bit more? Now these 10 fundamentals, they are all easy to do. With my 20 years experience of working people, coaching in different industries, I have not come across many people who can nail every single one of these consistently week after week. They do many other things over and above this, but they would probably benefit from going back to these and resetting these more than focusing on the magic pills, focusing on the supplementation, all the other things. They would get more from just focusing on these 11 things here. So a question for you, have you nailed your daily habits? And when I ask that, I mean, have you actually nailed them? Not do you know them, do you understand them, and 20-30% of the time you do them. Hand on heart, can you say, I nail these every day of the week? If not, just try a little bit harder to do one at a time, and you will see massive benefits from it. So what do we do next? How do we go about implementing this? So start with one habit at a time. Once you pick one daily habit, you implement it, do it for 14 days, only change one thing at a time, you start to reap the benefits. After a week or 2 weeks, whatever you think is best for you, add the next one, and the effects of each one will just keep compounding and compounding. That is as simple as it is. It has to keep it simple, make sure it's personalised, and it will be sustainable. So let's look at this real life scenario. You're a 45-year-old busy parent and you are struggling with tiredness, cravings, and weight gain. You decide you're going to start implementing one change into your life, one positive habit, and you establish a better sleep routine. Now, next thing you know, improved sleep has led to better regulation of hunger and reducing cravings. Third domino, you have effortless eating. So with cravings managed, you're making healthier food choices. they've become easier and required less willpower. Fourth domino, your metabolism starts to stabilise and you're really starting to see the benefits here. So you're starting to see better nutrition, sleep patterns, and you've helped to stabilise your blood sugar levels. Now, the fifth domino, you start to see physical changes. Due to your increased metabolism, your belly fats begin to reduce and you're looking in the mirror and starting to be happy with what you see. Now, you start patting yourself on the back and want to keep doing more. So the sixth domino, energy starts to return. The combination of better sleep and nutrition brought back your energy levels. Now, the final outcome. With increased energy and positive results, consistency becomes a natural part of your routine. Now, if you do this with absolutely everything, before you know it, you are killing life. So how does sustainable fat loss work? Now, this is how I do it, and I would expect that many other coaches, or if you're doing it yourself, should follow a similar structure. So your plan is built around your life. Your strategy is adapted to your daily routine, including work, family time, and social commitments. The foods you enjoy. So no foods are banned, and the system incorporates your preferences to ensure the plan is enjoyable and realistic long term. Fits your lifestyle. So the system is designed for busy professionals, parents, and entrepreneurs, considering factors like kids, hobbies, and their travel. So that's phase 1. Phase 2, you should see better metabolism. Fuel the metabolism, we increase your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, to reverse your slowdown caused by years of restrictive diets, or in many cases just poor eating habits. We make your body work for you. This approach aligns with your biology, turning your body into a more efficient fat-burning machine. And we protect your muscle. The focus is on fat loss and muscle retention, ensuring you get stronger and leaner, not lighter. This is what I said before. Don't just focus on the scale going down. Now, this will result from the personalisation and better metabolism. You will start to feel more energy. You have a structure that fits your life. So all coaching, tracking, and check-ins are managed in our app. So this will only require 30 minutes per day to do absolutely everything that you need to do. Now, 30 minutes is much more than what it really takes because most people track while they're eating. They will track while they're exercising, and we also have some automations and we have smartwatch integration which does this for you. So many people maybe take 10 minutes per day. So you also see health markers improve. So your system helps manage conditions like diabetes risk, high blood sugar levels, and for certain people we've helped with PCOS and other things like digestive issues like reflux, and in a unique case resulted in fixing a chronic cough. So you also see confidence and energy increase, so your boosted metabolism leads to sharper focus, better mood, and renewed confidence in your body. So next stage, and fat loss that stays off. So waist goes down and belly fat reduces. Clients typically lose 20 to 50 pounds of belly fat without extreme dieting or endless workouts. In some cases, no workouts at all. We have many clients who have achieved incredible weight loss just by being active and doing hobbies that they like. So habits you can keep. The program is centered on small, consistent daily habits that become second nature over time. And that is the beauty of this. These are things that are so easy to consistently do for the rest of your life. And that results in the healthier choice becoming the easier one. And this is when you realize that you don't actually need discipline, because everything that you are doing, the system that we help implement and plug into your life, it integrates so seamlessly that making healthy decisions feels natural and not forced. So being disciplined becomes the easier option. So our metabolic acceleration strategy is built around you and not on some fancy diet. So it's an important thing to understand that metabolism is built by behaviours. So behaviours that compound, repeatable behaviours, and then over time your attitude changes, your body changes, and mentally and physically you become much fitter and healthier. So it's just like fitness. It adapts to what you do consistently. Our system is designed for lasting results, adapting to your schedule, preferences, and goals so you can perform at your best. Diets slow it down, habits build it up. So years of diet, stress, and restrictive weight loss programs will slow your metabolic rate. We reverse that with sustainable habits. Your daily actions shape your metabolic future. So we control metabolism by our actions. You can build a system that fits your life and makes your body work for you and not against you. Now, the next bit we're going to look at is very interesting. So you can build a stronger metabolism at any age as long as you incorporate small, simple habits into your life. So what can you expect from improving your habit by implementing these simple things? So you're going to see better sleep. You should expect fewer cravings. You should get better food choices, more balanced blood sugar, less hunger, and more energy. Habits get easier, which will result in long-term fat loss and sustainable metabolic health. So as we said before, one small habit has a chain reaction across your metabolism, energy, and your appetite. Small habits work together, not alone. So the science of metabolism. Now, one of the biggest excuses that I hear is kids, injuries, work, or age. Now, you'll be glad to know that age should not be a concern. So there's a study done recently that showed you that up until 60-year-old, behavior is the biggest thing that affects your metabolism. So what does that mean? As long as you do your simple daily habits every day, your metabolism is as good as it can be. So basically the behaviors are more powerful than you aging. Now if you're listening to this and thinking I'm 61, I've got a great excuse, guess what? Once you get to 61, as long as you keep doing these daily habits all the time, you've given yourself the best chance possible for you to be as healthy as you can be. So at 60 to 61, what changes? Nothing. So as you can see here, before 60, behavior rules metabolism. After 60, body slows, habits still work. So after 60, you can't control everything, but habits will stack the odds in your favour. And these are a reminder of some of the habits that you can implement. So I like to leave this to near the end, so why should you listen to me? So as you can see in this image here, I was invited up for a media day at my old work. I spent 19 years in the middle of the North Sea. I am an engineer. I was an oil rig manager, an OIM. You can see the picture in the background. So I was the manager of that project. In that picture, that is the biggest vessel, lifting vessel, biggest crane in the world. And it is picking up my old workplace in the middle of the North Sea, 110 miles away from land. Now I spent half my life working there, in charge of some pretty massive tasks in some of the world's most extreme conditions, and I thrived in that environment. I loved it. I loved working with teams of people. I loved doing a lot of these really interesting tasks, and the important bit for you is I totally understand pressure. I understand having no time. I understand having no resources, no equipment, because if I'm in the middle of the North Sea, 110 miles from land, and I can maintain an elite level physique, nailing elite level powerlifting lift, and doing various other things, well, some days I'm working 15 hours a day, most days actually, some days even 18 as we come to the end of this project. I totally understand what it's like to be busy, to have high pressure, to have meetings coming up every hour, totally packed calendar. And the same time when I was doing this, I was a manager 2 weeks. I was a decommissioning project manager the third week. I was also doing a master's in decommissioning at the same time. In the evening, I still ate 8 times a day, considering I had to take a lot of the food out of my bag myself because they don't give you 8 meals a day. I was also running a property business. I had 2 children who took up a lot of my time, and I had a lot of hobbies. I was running 6 social media accounts at the same time. I was coaching people in over 20 countries. I was doing all of this at the same time, and I'll be completely honest with you, some days I did sit about thinking, I'm going to do some things I enjoyed. I went and done yoga or Pilates because I had a system in place that allowed doing all these things to be as efficient as possible. Now, this isn't about me. I just want to show you that I understand what it's like to be a parent and what it's like to be running massive businesses. It can be very difficult if you don't have a system in place that allows you to achieve everything you want to achieve. Now, on top of that, I am an advanced personal trainer, UK certified. I am a certified UK nutritionist, and I did specialise in weight management and athletic performance. And I'm also a J3 University hormone and physique coach, which is a very sought after coaching accreditation, which is NASM accredited and is way over and above the advanced personal trainer and nutritionist level, which gives a really good understanding of which gives a really good understanding of things like male and female hormone health and a lot of other things that is not touched on in the personal trainer or nutritionist qualification. So that is why when you work with me, you are getting multiple experts in one. You're getting someone that understands your real life, you're getting someone that understands being a parent, and you're getting someone who has nutritionist qualifications, hormone qualifications, and personal trainer qualifications. Now, if you look for them individually, there's not many exists that are also an engineer and various other things, which is very important also, but you're getting that all in one. It may surprise you, but actually my experience and learnings from the military and achieving the things I wanted to achieve while working in the middle of the sea, that real life experience is some of the things I use more often with my coaching clients, even though it's about health and fitness. That experience has been much more powerful than my fitness qualifications, which are valuable, but quite often why people aren't achieving their results is because they're stuck or they're working with a coach who doesn't understand their real life, maybe worked their whole life in a gym, and they need to work on the things that would only be identified with someone experiencing root cause analysis and really identifying and pinpointing where the issues are arising from and dealing with the root cause of the problem and then building on that. It's a lot of the things, the little things that are building up in life that are needing to be analysed to work out why you're struggling to do simple daily habits, because we'll all admit after seeing what these 10 habits are, they are all easy. So if someone is struggling to do them, it's often there's something else that needs addressing in their life. So why guesswork fails? Now we've looked at the habits, we've looked at all the other things. So one of the things that we implemented very early on in our coaching program was biofeedback and blood testing. So you will see biofeedback has been a bit of a buzzword now in many people's profiles. Possibly they've been doing it for a long time as well. There is a small percentage of people who have been. And the reason we do that is because we need to know about you. We want to know about all of the things that are holding you back. We want to know that your body is fit and healthy. And we want to know from the very start what your baseline is so we can help you throughout the 6-month or 12-month program fix every single one of these. And each time, like the habits, if you fix something in your blood markers or other feedback, like maybe we're monitoring blood sugar levels or various other things that we've looked at with clients, each time you fix one of these, everything else improves around it. So yeah, we need to build a strategy around your biology and your lifestyle, and one of the easiest ways to do that is with a baseline blood test. Blood tests are very easy to do. The test is sent to your house. You can either do it yourself, they can send you a finger prick thing, or you can pay something like £30 to have a nurse come to your house or go to the local health clinic and get it done. 2 days later, you've got your results, and it is amazing what they can do and tell you by then. So many people do come to us and say, can I do the coaching without the blood testing? Yes, absolutely. We will personalise just based on the information that you can provide us. If you really want to make sure you can get the most out of your coaching, I would advise doing this. There has been a handful of people that said, John, I don't want to know what's wrong with me. Okay, fair enough, that's up to you. I would always say that if you know what's wrong with you, there might be nothing wrong with you, but if you do find something wrong with you and you can fix it now, that is advisable. So just a quick look at blood tests. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So we test, we understand the result. We'll be looking at 44 different areas. So looking at things like metabolism, hormones, inflammation, blood sugar, nutrient deficiencies. And then we want to understand that because understanding that allows us to personalise it. And it might actually be at that point we need to say stop, or even in the blood test, it might be stop. You need to actually go and see a professional. There's some stuff here over and above what we can work on that needs addressing. Now, we'll still work on the daily habits and improve everything else, but there might be some of it that's just under health professionals' guidance. So what prevents? Plateaus from low metabolism, fat regain after diets, and hidden issues that we've just discussed there. So as I discussed before, we test because we don't want it to be generic. We want it to be completely personalised to you, removes guesswork, and if it's actually built around your life, there's more chance that you'll actually stick to it. And that is again how it'll improve your results, and it allows us to, it really accelerates your progress. So when you invest in a coach or a program or a plan, you want the biggest return on your investment. This allows us to give you the best possible plan for you to get the most out of your 6 months. So you will see faster changes in your waste and energy if that's your goals. For many people I work with, they're actually trying to get bigger and higher performance, so that will help you as well. You're going to get better sleep, better insulin sensitivity, and you're going to get more muscle protection while you're losing fat. Now, a lot of this is focused around people that are losing fat. Often people with performance have already nailed a lot of these daily habits and they just want to do the next level things. We have also spoke about here insulin sensitivity. We are looking at many of our clients just now are actually wearing blood sugar monitors that are instant feedback, and they're so powerful for stabilizing blood sugar levels, and it helps us really adjust, and you're getting that instant feedback. Couple of weeks of doing that and we've managed to really bring their blood sugar levels down, which has been really powerful for people who are pre-diabetic or quite often, low energy and gaining a lot of belly fat. We've got them back into healthy markers very quickly by doing that. So yeah, you don't need more restriction, you need more accurate data to make your body work for you and not against you. Now, if we do these blood tests and you, for whatever reason, need to see a doctor, we will help you document your lifestyle. So I'm going to put this up on the screen here because it's very important. This can help you get the best possible service. So we have had time after time, and this is why this is in here. People have been to doctors, they've been to multiple doctors around the world, they've paid for specialists, their work's insurance is paid for other people, they've been to physio, they've been to trauma doctors, whatever, and they're not being taken seriously, they're not finding solutions, and they're not even being asked what their daily habits are. Now, we know, especially in the UK, if it's NHS, the first thing they will probably say is, have you tried paracetamol or ibuprofen? If not, go home for a month, try that and come back. It is unbelievable how many people have told me that, and I have also seen myself. So what we will help you do, we will help you work on and improve your habits, but we will also document your habits. So we have full documentation of everything you've done. We will help you build a portfolio. We will help you show patterns, and then we will also be able to look at that in terms of symptoms. So we are preempting everything the doctor's going to ask you or should ask you, and we're giving you all of this data, and we can help you bring a pack that is ready to be presented to the doctor, including your blood test results, whatever blood sugar results, if we've been looking at that as well. And then the doctor, when you turn up with this portfolio, you can tell them absolutely everything you've been doing. The doctor will take you seriously. A good doctor, if you don't have any of this documented, will possibly be saying, okay, what are you eating? What's your lifestyle? What's your stress? What's your work just now? How's kids? All of these things, tell me how much water. Are you having sore heads? Every sort of thing. They should be looking at that and analysing. If you already have all that information there, you should get seen to or fast-tracked. If you don't have all that information, the doctor's going to have to say, okay, well, I think you need to go away and drink more water, I think you need to exercise more, I think you need to stop smoking, I think you need to stop drinking fizzy juice. And that is just delaying you getting the actual support you need probably for another 6 months. This sets you up for absolute success. It puts you in the best possible position when you go to the doctor. So then benefits, with the habits already dialed in, doctors can treat the real problem faster because we've already ruled out all the basics. Very powerful. So what I said as well about the doctors, what they should ask you before they're giving you medication, and I mean this because I've had so much experience of people just being given medication without almost any questions being asked. When you go to a doctor, they should be asking you about your lifestyle, about you, how you feel, what you've tried yourself, everything, looking at, your sleep and recovery, your food quality and timing, all of these things here you see on the screen. If the doctor jumps straight to giving you medication, jumps your lifestyle bit, I would ask him why. I would ask him, why did you not ask about anything in my lifestyle and you're trying to get me on a prescription? Medication is huge business. I would be very suspicious of anyone who their goal seems to be getting you on medication rather than fixing the things like the daily habits in your life that can be very powerful. If they don't ask you about your habits or your daily life, I would get a second opinion. I would go and see another health professional. Our goal is health, longevity, and sustainable results. Medication should support life, not replace lifestyle. So I want to look at Dimitra quickly here. So Dimitra, I think she's on just over 68 pounds now. But you can see here, from 51-year-old to 56-year-old, you would think that the photos were the wrong way around. Absolutely incredible progress. Now, Dimitra doesn't do anything extreme. She takes care of her daily habits consistently. She eats things that are not healthy sometimes. She loves cakes, she eats bread sometimes, pastries, but 80 to 90% of the time she is eating things that are personalised to her. She has targets to hit, and she does it with the foods that she likes eating. All her plan is built around her. And if you can look here, that is absolutely incredible progress for anyone. She looks 10 to 20 years younger from 51 to 56. Amazing. And like the other people in this, I have to say thank you very much to Dimitra, Liam and Silka for allowing me to share their stories. They allow me to share them because they want to motivate other people to get after it. Now in Dimitra's case, she had tried absolutely every diet you could think of. She started working with me, probably in some ways out of desperation because she tried everything and everything else had failed. And she thought I was a little bit extreme. And she thought, what does this guy know about a 50-year-old woman and hormones and different things? Turns out I have quite a lot of qualifications in that. But I'm not a female and I don't pretend to understand how females feel, but I do know a lot about it. So she thought I would have her doing extreme workouts and doing various other things, which wasn't the case because everything we build is built around the individual and what they want. It doesn't matter what I do, it doesn't matter what I want. I can guide people, I can advise them, but it has to be built around things that they do. So 3 years, nearly 3 years we've been working together, and she is on her 3rd annual package, and you can see the visual results are absolutely massive. But I'll be honest with you, although this looks impressive, the mental and all the smaller things that are not visual are probably more powerful and bigger achievements for Dimitra than just looking 10 times younger and healthier. Thank you for allowing me to share that, Dimitra. Now let's look at Liam. Liam came to me, he's had a lot of health issues over the years and he's wanting to take back control of his health, boost his metabolism and be a role model for his children. But Liam was always good at sports, he used to race motocross and do various other things. So he wanted to get back to having that self-pride where he was a healthy, capable young man. Now Liam is a mechanical engineer, he works up to 15 hours a day. He works away from home almost all month, and when he's away from home, he lives in a camper van. Now, he only has an air fryer to cook with, and he has 3 very young children as well when he is at home, and he basically has every excuse that you could think of not to exercise, not to look after his health, and in 4 months, Liam had lost 11 inches on his waist. And he'd done all of that without going to the gym in the 4 months. It was just steps, work, changing his eating habits. Liam's eating habits were awful. He was eating 3 or 4, well, 3 most days, but even 4 some days. Takeaway meals basically delivered to his work, the worst food you could ever imagine. And he's also quite a fussy eater. So from my point of view, fussy eater, away from home, only an air fryer to cook with, and you're trying to help them build a nutrition plan. It's not easy. We got there building again a plan around what his likes are and his lifestyle. But no excuses. He built these small habits, and then after 4 or 5 months he started going to the gym. So you can see there on the right hand side, start to see some biceps in that. He's looking a lot happier. And yeah, Liam's still going now. He's just started his 2nd year, and we're actually now focused on performance and building muscle rather than just building his metabolism. So this photo was a few months ago, but I wanted to show you the 4-month point rather than showing you what he's doing now. So why does your health matter? So your family doesn't need you lighter, it needs you healthy, present and there to live longer. So these daily habits aren't just about now. Daily habits are going to be massive in terms of longevity, and it is something that you could act on now without any help. So yeah, you want to be building a life that you can live and not a diet that you want to escape from. So we have Silka here as well. So I just wanted to clarify our metabolic acceleration strategy system is often thought of as being a muscle building because it's mass people think it's muscle mass. It is absolutely not. It's not about muscle gain. There is people that are clients of ours who have bodybuilding medals, they compete in different sports and things, but we are solely helping people boost their metabolism, live longer, and be healthier, better versions of themselves. So as you can see here, Silka, another one of our clients who we worked with on and off over the last few years. Silka got herself in amazing shape again. She was Miss Australia in 2016, and you can see here the transformation with your own eyes. Silka achieved most of this without going to the gym. She was doing activities with her children. She was very busy, and later on in her journey she did start doing yoga and Pilates, and she does now do some light weights just for toning, like squats and various other things when she gets time. Now, Silka is a professional model, Silka is a businesswoman, Silka is a parent of 2 very young girls, and again, like Liam, she has every excuse you could think of not to be healthy. Recently we just had a discussion to get her back on track because she was feeling things were slipping away a little bit. A lot of things on, obviously kids have got a lot of activities, she had a lot of photo shoots, a lot of business things on, and she was in and out of the city all the time, and she felt that when she was in the city she was just grabbing sushi all the time because it was the quickest, easiest option. And she started to feel like she was getting a bit softer and not quite how she wanted to look. So we helped her again, got her back on track, more focused on single ingredient whole foods, more focused on protein, and to be fair, most of the other stuff she was still doing okay. Within a week of focusing on protein first all the time, she started to see big changes again. But yeah, a lot of people say Silk is a professional model. She was born that way, it was easy for her. You can see in both these photos, she's gained a lot of weight. You have to look at this from a different point of view sometimes as well. She has got a camera shoved in her face every day, regardless of how she feels, looks. She may be gained a little bit, depending on hormonal cycles. She is under immense pressure to look good all the time. That is her job. I don't think many people would like that pressure. Regardless, she does the simple things that is required, the daily habits, to keep herself looking the best she can. So thank you, Silka, same as Liam and Dimitra, for allowing me to share this. So I just want to quickly show you, all of our clients use our app. Our app is automated, as I said. It has the barcode scanner for your food. It has smartwatch integration. There is many different exercises with personalised videos from myself showing you how to do them. There's daily habit trackers. There is many things. There's ebooks in there. There's guides. There's different videos for motivation. So many things. There's a DM function, and the goal of this is to make everything as easy as possible. And we also do daily, if required, and weekly check-ins depending on what meets your goals, to make sure we are able to communicate all the time. And that's what we use. All of our clients get exclusive lifetime access to our app, which will save them money from looking at things like MyFitnessPal and various other things. So if you decide that you do want to work with us and you want help implementing these things, like I said, many of them you should be able to implement yourself. If you want us for accountability and various other things. So your next step would be to contact us, book a free strategy call, and we will go through some things. So we will help you build a metabolism that works for you, focus on repairing metabolic damage from past diets and stress to increase the body basal metabolic rate. We will personalise habits around your real life. We will adapt your schedule, preferences and goals, integrating into your existing life rather than demanding a complete overhaul. There will be no starving, no extremes or no guesswork. Everything we are doing is based on science, like the blood tests, and we will be avoiding restrictions and fad diets at all costs, focusing on real food and sustainable practices instead. So sustainable results through metabolic acceleration strategy system. So our proprietary evidence-based system, MESS, is designed for long-term health, not just short-term weight loss. So if you're ready to take back control of your life, book your free strategy call now. So all of our packages are backed by a results guarantee. So if you don't hit your agreed goal in 6 or 12 months, we coach you for free until you do. There's not many people offer that, but because everything we do is personalised and backed by science, we are very confident that we will achieve your desired results. So if you are ready to take the next step and commit to making the small changes required to improve your lifestyle, book your free consultation. You can drop me an email, or you can comment on any of our posts, or feel free to DM me. So just one small reminder, and I'm going to leave this here for you. Your health is your biggest asset. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.